Hello, brothers and sisters. Today I'm going to touch a very beautiful subject. In the various spiritual paths, devotion towards God has many shapes and forms. Has so many shapes and forms that can be mistaken for something else entirely. I have seen forms of worship that are hidden or that are very hard to understand. I have spoken on other channels about it long ago also. But speaking about the rubedo state in alchemy, for example, this is a state of cooking the love, cooking the love in your heart in such a way that once your love touches something, it becomes gold. Once your love touches lead, it turns into gold. Once your love touches field, it turns into gold. Once your love touches venom and poison, it turns into nectar. So all this work we have to do with ourselves is turn venom, the venom of our egos, individualities, and lower selves into the nectar of the higher self. That's what Odin means by giving myself to myself. After he had such an experience, the experience before Natal, everyone ignores it. Not everyone, but majority of people ignore it. We will speak today about ways of worshiping the divine that are not so common. I have seen words of worshiping the divine between lovers. They worship the divine in each other. I have seen in certain Hindu paths that are more hard to understand for the Occidental people, for the Europeans. I have seen God worshipped as a child, and they took care of that statue like they were with a child. It's not like the God takes care of you, but you take care of God. Something very interesting. They have many reasons to do this, but those reasons cannot be understood by people who have not reached a specific level of at least basic understanding of what love is. Uh, People today, on many lips, this word exists, and those lips and those words are rather carriers of poison. It is love, it is nectar disguised as poison. But in various worship forms, we can understand that once you reach a certain love for God or a love for the divine, there is no turning back from that point because that love is like uh, acidic substance. It melts the heart, it melts the ego. It's like sulf. Love at the beginning has a smell of sulf because it's burning. Oh, hello, 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 Freya. Nice to have you here. Yeah, so I have seen forms of worship of God that are miraculous and interesting. You can animism is also a form of worship of the divine because basically wherever you turn a stone, the divine is there. Very nice, very nice. Welcome, welcome. Very nice. So I would say that love is the sum of all the virtues plus some more. For someone who has not experienced transpersonal love, it is very hard to grasp what I'm seeing or I'm speaking about here. Love for God, once you have it, love for a deity, the divine, or once you have it, you're not alone anymore. You are with the pantheon. You are with that God. You're always uh, with someone that is also everywhere. You know. So basically, love melts away your ego, your pride, your lack of empathy. A master of mine in childhood told me, man, where you see truth, beauty, goodness, and truth, beauty, goodness, that's where love is also, because love can only exist if truth is there too. You cannot have love if truth is not there. It's not possible. Because the vibration of truth, the spiritual frequency of truth is purity. And love can only grow in an environment that has a level of purity. If you try to grow love in a field full of thorns, that's going to become poison. So, first, you must pluck the thorns from your field, and then you try to grow love. And basically, the myth of poetry from the Nordic people, or the Soma of the Brahmins, is a highly uh, refined form of that energy, the nectar of the gods. And also, something that I never told on the camera, you know, the apple of Idun, apples of Idun, you know what are those? Those are hearts. You can check it out in Kennings. Check the Kennings in Skaldaska Parmal for heart or for stone, you will see, or for apple. So, yeah, Idun who holds the secret of immortality, without which the gods cannot be the gods. She holds a garden of hearts, basically. Of course, but if you look at a heart, if you look at an apple, it it is like a heart. You some apples. That's why the kenning is there, the metaphor. So yeah, I would say when it comes to the IEC Nur, people are ignoring some powerful stuff about IEC Nur in the Nordic path. Feels as if the heart is plausible a vortex. Yes, true. Because that is Odrerir. That is the steering. You're spot on here. You're absolutely spot on. So basically, I don't want to speak about our brothers and sisters who like uh, like to post a lot of stuff, or they are ego tripping about their knowledge and whatnot on the Facebook and the internet and social pages. You know, what I can say is allow yourself to go deep into devotion, allow yourself to go deep in worship. Try to free a bit your mind from the thirst for a certain knowledge, uh, like treating the spiritual path like a collection of techniques you learn and you think you're knowledgeable, you know. As long as you treat a spiritual path as a collection of practices, you're on the wrong understanding. Basically, your spiritual path is the entire life you live, from the morning until dawn, until dusk, even throughout your sleep. So, but to reach the rubedo state, the diamond state, the vajra state, one must pass nigredo, albedo, and then rubedo, the three phases. In the Nordic path, the nigredo phase is symbolized by the elixir of the wolf, it's called. Hard to grasp that one. Nobody almost speaks about the elixir of the wolf. Once you have reached the elixir of the wolf through certain initiatic death and rebirth practices, you start to go towards the albedo state. And once you reach even a smallest drop, even uh, the smallest state of rubedo, it starts to multiply in you as an energy. This is the Draupnir for people who know. This is Draupnir state. Correct, correct. Yeah. Interesting, interesting. Like Fenrir, yes, the wolf. So Draupnir, the multiplication state. So we are speaking here about a kind of alchemy that is life transformative, and it has to do with a journey beyond the self without abandoning the self in the classical Advaitic way. You know, it's a very deep journey, guys. Takes you to places that you never knew existed in your soul. That's for sure. So I would say I call this video the rose of love for God. I don't think we are really worth it to have this word on our lips. But if you just taste the smallest drop of that rubedo state, of that mead of poetry, you become intoxicated for life. There is no turning back from that one. No matter whatever happens in your life, there is no turning back from that experience. And that's why the majority of people who have gone deeper into spiritual practices observe something about the divine names in whatever traditions they are practicing. That the divine names are stairways towards this state, are steps in a stairway towards this kind of a state. And you must know kind of the correct order of application of those divine names. Mm. A highly elaborate tradition of divine names cannot be not mentioned. Hindus have for their main deities 1,108 names. The Nordic people had way more names than they have now. Skaldas Kaparmal has a version of 114 names. Also, a highly well developed system of divine names. The Sufis do it amazingly well, also. That's for sure. I don't know much about those guys, but I heard they are cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it for today. Enjoy, guys. Thank you for listening. Share, like, and subscribe.